Do you guys still talk, or is it kind of a little resistance right now? Because
I ain't spoke with him in about a month.
Oh.
Maybe about a month.
The fallout between Lil Wayne and Birdman went way beyond money or record deals. It exploded into pure chaos after claims surfaced that Birdman allegedly put a hit on Wayne. Now, shocking new footage hints that Wayne wasn't just sitting back, he was ready to strike back hard. What started as a bond between mentor and protege twisted into something way darker. It all traces back to the night that changed everything, the infamous bus shooting that shook the rap world. April 26, 2015 seemed like just another night on tour, with Wayne killing it on stage at Compound nightclub in Atlanta. But what went down after the show became one of hip-hop's most jaw-dropping moments ever. Around 3:30 a.m., two of Wayne's tour buses carrying 12 people rolled down I-285 North when bullets started flying. Gunfire from .40 caliber and 9mm handguns tore into the buses, wrecking them badly. But unbelievably, no one got hurt. The man behind the trigger? Jimmy Pee Wee Roscoe Winfrey, Young Thug's tour manager and a YSL-linked Bloods member. Police had already been escorting the buses after threats at the venue, where Winfrey had been spotted holding an assault rifle near a white 2015 Chevy Camaro. Winfrey wasn't hiding his anger either. He had warned Wayne before, saying, "This is my city. Keep messing around. I'll spray the bus." Once the police escort peeled off near Atlanta Road, Winfrey pulled up beside the buses and unleashed multiple rounds before speeding away. He ditched the Camaro in a relative's garage, tried wiping an Instagram photo of it, and bolted straight to Miami. That same wild night, Young Thug faced serious backlash. He was straight up booed off stage in New Orleans while performing in Wayne's hometown. Then, just a few months later, things got way darker. On July 30th, 2015, Jimmy Pee Wee Roscoe Winfrey was officially indicted in Cobb County on 30 criminal counts. The list was insane. 3 RICO violations, 8 counts under the Street Gang Terrorism Act, 12 aggravated assaults, 2 cases of criminal property damage, plus multiple firearm charges, including possession during a felony and possession by a felon. But what really set the industry on fire was that the indictment also pointed toward 2 major names as unindicted co-conspirators: Birdman and Young Thug. Prosecutors claimed Winfrey was acting on Young Thug's threats to boost his gang status and secure payment, while Birdman allegedly backed it all as part of a bigger plan to pressure or even silence Wayne. All of this came as Wayne's $51 million lawsuit loomed over Cash Money, threatening to collapse the entire empire. Investigators dug deep into the evidence, and the phone records told a chilling story. Just before the shooting, Winfrey called Young Thug 8 times in a span of only 12 minutes. And right after those calls, his very next one was to Birdman. The timing matched perfectly with his drive to the hotel where Wayne's crew had taken shelter. Adding more fuel to the storm, Young Thug's June 2015 music video showed Winfrey waving an assault rifle while rapping lyrics like "Pop him in the noggin," which fans took as a direct shot at Wayne. Instagram posts added even more tension, flashing weapons and throwing up gang signs, all tied to YSL's Bloods affiliation. Then, in September 2018, a leaked phone call between Birdman and Winfrey surfaced, and it sent the internet into a frenzy.
Right, they're saying during the call, Birdman is saying, "Time for you to come out here and get your money. You did everything you could do, boss." Now,
and he's calling
according
from
to
jail.
Yes.
Right.
That infamous phone call later turned up in a 2016 civil lawsuit filed by Alvin Lewis, the bus driver who claimed he suffered serious emotional distress from the shooting. Lewis sued Birdman, Young Thug, Winfrey, and several other connected parties, saying the entire situation left him traumatized. According to court documents, Lewis alleged Birdman promised Winfrey around $250,000 and a Porsche as a reward for carrying out the hit.
I believe that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Birdman really loves Wayne in that way. I believe that he would not want Lil Wayne harmed in that way, and I don't think he would associate with somebody who tried to do harm to Lil Wayne.
But Birdman's camp fired back fast. A source told TMZ the call was in no way referring to the bus shooting, saying it was all about unrelated business or just words of encouragement. They insisted Birdman never believed Winfrey was the shooter and would never work with anyone who wanted to hurt Wayne. Birdman himself flat out denied any role in the attack, saying he was ready to help investigators find out the truth. Young Thug also blasted the accusations, calling them completely outrageous. Still, the evidence floating around painted a pretty suspicious picture that kept fans talking nonstop. As for Winfrey, his legal journey was a roller coaster. In 2015, he pled guilty and got hit with a 10-year prison sentence plus 10 years of probation. But that conviction got overturned in 2018 due to claims of coercion. Then, in 2020, he took another plea deal for gang terrorism, getting time served and probation. By 2024, he was back in court again, this time pleading guilty in the massive YSL RICO case.
According to Alvin Lewis, he's saying that Birdman promised Jimmy Winfrey $250,000 and a Porsche, and that was for the shooting.
Where's he getting this information from?
I have no idea.
Exactly, man. You can't be believing these second, third-hand sources.
No criminal charges ever landed on Birdman or Young Thug, even with all the ties and whispers floating around. The district attorney looked into it, but ultimately decided not to press charges, saying there just wasn't enough solid evidence, only loose connections and rumors. Still, the whole thing refused to stay buried for long. The shooting came roaring back into the spotlight during Young Thug's 2022 to 2024 YSL RICO trial, where prosecutors brought it up as an overt act in an alleged gang conspiracy. Then in August 2025, a 2015 police interrogation video suddenly resurfaced, showing Thug talking about hearing that Winfrey was the shooter. That clip blew up online and people started calling him a snitch, but Thug quickly clapped back, denying it all and saying he only ever tried to help his brother. Winfrey even jumped in to defend him, saying Thug was clean as Listerine. That bus shooting turned what once looked like a music industry feud into something dangerously real. Blood, bullets, and betrayal mixed with millions of dollars and pride. Whether Birdman or Young Thug were truly involved still splits fans and insiders alike, but there's no denying that night left a permanent scar on hip-hop's legacy. What makes it even crazier is how deep their connection ran before everything went sideways. Dwayne "Lil Wayne" Carter first met Birdman back in 1991, when Wayne was just 9 years old. Some say they linked through local New Orleans rapper Lil Slim, who was making moves in the music scene at the time. Others claim it was Wayne's stepdad, Reginald "Rabbit" McDonald, who already knew the Williams brothers from the streets. Either way, what started as family-like love would one day explode into one of rap's darkest stories. Either way, that first meeting between Lil Wayne and Birdman flipped the whole rap game on its head, sparking one of the most powerful and complicated relationships hip-hop has ever seen. Birdman had just co-founded Cash Money Records in 1991 with his brother Slim Williams, deep in the Magnolia projects of New Orleans. Back then, bounce music and gangster rap were running the streets, and the Williams brothers were hustling hard. Fully independent, pressing up their own vinyl and selling records straight hand to hand. It was real street grind. No corporate suits, no fancy offices, just raw ambition and pure hustle. Cash Money wasn't about polished hits or radio-friendly tracks. It was about that uncut Southern street reality. Every beat, every bar came from the trenches, from the pain, pride, and survival of the city. Then came young Dwayne from Hollygrove, a kid with wild talent and hunger in his voice. He caught Birdman's attention in the most unexpected way, by leaving freestyles on his answering machine. Those weren't just rhymes. They were desperate, heartfelt stories from a kid who saw rap as his only shot at escaping the streets. Back in those New Orleans days, your choices were feud, prison, the graveyard, or somehow making it out through sports or music. And Wayne chose the mic.
A friend of mine introduced me to Wayne. So when I first met him, he became like my son. Like, you know, in New Orleans, we don't have fathers a lot.
By 1993, when he was just 11 years old, Wayne officially signed with Cash Money as one half of the BGZ, alongside Christopher Dorsey, also known as BG. Their debut album, True Story, dropped in 1995, packed with gritty tales that mirrored the reality of New Orleans. Crime, struggle, and survival turned into powerful storytelling through bars and beats. After Wayne's stepfather, Reginald "Rabbit" McDonald, was tragically murdered in 1995, Birdman stepped in as more than just a mentor. He became a father figure to the young prodigy. The loss hit Wayne hard, leaving deep scars that nearly broke him. At just 12 years old, he even attempted to take his own life, a moment that forever shaped who he'd become. From that point on, Wayne started calling Birdman Daddy or Pops.
Just like that father son.
He had all the autistic at 11 years old when he first rapped to me. He was able to flow, able to change his flow.
And their bond grew stronger than ever. Meanwhile, Cash Money's rise was legendary. By 1998, they had inked a $30 million distribution deal with Universal Records, a move that blasted them from the South straight into global fame. That same year, Juvenile's classic album 400 Degrees went quadruple platinum, solidifying Cash Money as a force nobody could ignore. Then came the formation of the Hot Boys in 1997, Juvenile, BG, Turk, and Lil Wayne, a squad that changed hip-hop forever. Their 1999 project Guerrilla Warfare went platinum, pushing Wayne's name deeper into rap history. Wayne's solo debut, Tha Block Is Hot, dropped in 1999 when he was only 17, and it instantly went platinum too. The world could see Birdman and Wayne's connection was more than business. It was family-like. In interviews, Wayne often called Birdman his brother from another.
I just smoke, drink in the car. Yeah. I don't write nothing down, so it's just something I do. I record so damn much.
But things got wild when a 2006 photo of the two kissing went viral, sparking endless controversy. Wayne later explained it was just a sign of love and loyalty, nothing more.
You and Wayne had like a kiss thing going on.
First of all, my own born son,
Yes.
I would kiss him.
Right.
I know you got a child, you probably kiss him. You probably got a son and you kiss him.
Yeah.
You heard me? I always looked at Wayne as my son, and I always looked at it like, because I was in the streets, and I thought this might be.
By 2005, Wayne was running the show as Cash Money's president and launching Young Money Entertainment as his own imprint. Then, in 2009, he signed Drake and Nicki Minaj, turning Young Money into a full-blown empire. And with Tha Carter III selling over 1 million copies in its first week in 2008, Wayne officially became one of the biggest names in hip-hop history.
You got the Light for the Light Sun album coming, man, baby.
In 2006, Birdman and Lil Wayne dropped their joint album, Like Father, Like Son, and it was a full statement on how they saw each other. Birdman the Pops, Wayne the Son, both hustlers turned moguls building an empire straight from the trenches. The album hit number 3 on the Billboard 200 and went gold, proving their bond translated perfectly into hits. Their smash single, Stuntin' Like My Daddy, climbed to number 21 on the Hot 100 and even snagged the BET Viewer's Choice Award. The track was pure energy, Wayne rapping about moving like his daddy, and Birdman showing off the same boss moves, dripping in swagger, chasing money with that same fearless mindset. Together, they embodied that mid-2000s Southern flex culture. Flashy cars, heavy ice, big money talk, and designer everything. Cash Money wasn't just a label, it became a lifestyle. The watches, the whips, the attitude. Birdman and Wayne set the blueprint for rap extravagance, and Wayne stood front and center as the golden child of the movement. But behind all that shine, cracks were forming. The darker side of Cash Money's success started showing, and whispers turned into full-blown accusations. Several artists, Juvenile, Manny Fresh, and BG, claimed the label was playing dirty with the money. Juvenile didn't just leave once, he left twice, even filing a $10 million lawsuit over unpaid royalties, saying Birdman was living large while his artists were left struggling. Even Manny Fresh, the in-house genius who crafted Cash Money's entire signature sound, walked away in 2005 after not getting paid what he was owed. The empire looked flawless on the outside, but deep inside, the foundation was already starting to crack. BG also called out exploitation, saying that Cash Money's deep street roots shaped the way they ran their business, not like a record label, but like a street operation. Birdman's past was no secret either. He had a history that included drug-related charges and ties to some serious street figures. Because of that, the label didn't always follow industry rules. It was run by street logic, and in that world, loyalty and control came before contracts or fairness. But even while others walked away, Wayne stayed solid. Wayne stood by Birdman through it all. He saw him like family, trusted him like blood, and believed Birdman would always look out for him. That trust, though, turned out to be his biggest downfall.
From day one, I guess I've been blessed to be keeping with the uprise with the music business. And Drake just did 1 million, been #1 for the last 8-9 weeks. Nicki in the lab. I got a little situation with Wayne we got to get in order, but I'm looking forward to doing that.
In 2012, a massive Universal deal worth between $100 and $200 million was secured for Young Money. Money that was supposed to push Wayne's label forward, sign fresh talent, pay for production, and build new stars. It was one of the biggest deals in hip-hop at the time, and Wayne was ready to take his empire to the next level. But things took a wild turn. Wayne later claimed that Birdman finessed those funds, using the money to cover Cash Money's debts instead of investing in Young Money. Even worse, Wayne said Birdman used part of that budget to promote Young Thug, the artist he allegedly planned to make Wayne's replacement. That move hit hard because Young Thug was signed under Birdman's Rich Gang imprint and was being pushed as the next Wayne, the next generational superstar. the new face of Cash Money. To Wayne, that was the ultimate betrayal. Birdman was playing chess, not checkers, setting up his moves for a future where Lil Wayne might not be the frontman anymore. And Wayne felt that heavy in his heart, betrayed by the same man he'd called daddy his whole career. By 2014, the tension between them hit a breaking point. The long-awaited album Thug Carter 5 kept getting delayed, and Wayne was losing his mind over it. He described the situation like being held hostage, stuck under the label that he helped build but couldn't control anymore. The album was supposed to drop in May 2014, then again that December, but Birdman kept blocking the release over and over. Wayne couldn't wrap his head around why Birdman was moving like that. The music was done, mastered, and ready to hit the world, yet Birdman refused to let it go. Some insiders said Birdman was trying to renegotiate Wayne's contract, while others believed it was punishment, payback for Wayne trying to break free from Cash Money. Either way, Wayne felt trapped, watching the empire he built turn into a cage. And that pressure cooked up one of the biggest feuds in hip-hop history. What started as an unbreakable bond between a mentor and his protege from the streets of New Orleans was now poisoned by money, pride, and betrayal. Millions of dollars and years of loyalty were on the line, and the streets were watching every move. The love that once built an empire was now the fire tearing it apart, and as things spiraled, it turned into a storm of accusations, lawsuits, and whispers of violence. What began as an OG raising his youngin' had exploded into chaos, and by December, everything was about to go completely left. December 2014 marked the first real crack in a relationship that had been the heartbeat of Cash Money Records for over 20 years. And Lil Wayne didn't keep it quiet. He didn't pick up the phone, didn't sit down for a talk. He went straight to Twitter for the world to see. Millions watched as he publicly aired out his frustrations, accusing Birdman of refusing to release his long-awaited album Thug Carter 5, which was supposed to drop on December 9th. Wayne didn't sugarcoat a thing. He called himself a prisoner and said straight up that he wanted off the label. This wasn't some mysterious subliminal diss. Wayne was done playing nice. He was tired of waiting, tired of false promises, and tired of trusting a man he thought was family. That tweet shook hip-hop to its core. The unthinkable was happening. The legendary father and son duo of rap, the faces of Cash Money, were officially at war, and it was all unfolding in real time for the world to witness. Just 2 days later, at Vice's 20th anniversary party, Wayne hit the stage and told the crowd, "I'm in a bad situation, but I'll be free soon." You could hear the pain in his voice. It wasn't just about money or contracts anymore. This was deeply personal. The man who once gave him everything was now the same one holding his career hostage. The love had turned to resentment, and Wayne was letting it all out for everyone to feel. Then came January 2015, and Wayne dropped the bomb, his mixtape, Sorry for the Wait 2. It was both a gift for his fans still waiting on Thug Carter 5 and a declaration of war against Cash Money Records. Every bar cut deep, every verse laced with frustration and fire. He aimed shots directly at Birdman and the label that had raised him since he was a kid. On the track, Coco, Wayne spit the now iconic line, "All I got is young money, no more cash." It was the moment he officially drew the line. Lil Wayne versus Birdman, and the world was watching every second. That bar said it all. Lil Wayne was done. The message couldn't have been clearer. Young money was his, and Cash Money was now the opposition. No more family ties, no more loyalty. It was officially war. On January 25th, 2015, Wayne made his next move and dropped a $51 million lawsuit against Cash Money Records. He accused Birdman and the label of breach of contract for holding back the Carter 5 and not paying the royalties he had rightfully earned. Wayne wasn't just looking for his money, he wanted out completely. He even tried to take his Young Money roster, including Drake and Nicki Minaj, with him as part of the split. Wayne's longtime manager, Cortez Bryant, stepped up and spoke publicly, putting Cash Money on blast. He said Wayne had been carrying that label on his back for over a decade, making it millions, and this was the thanks he got: betrayal and silence. By February 2015, Wayne confirmed to Rolling Stone that he and Birdman weren't even speaking anymore. He called Thug Carter 5 a dead subject, admitting he'd stopped thinking about it entirely. The damage was deep. This wasn't just a label issue, it was a broken bond between two men who once called each other father and son. Then Wayne took the smoke straight to the mic. On March 14, 2015, during a Young Money cipher, he dissed Birdman directly, dropping cold bars about sending a hit up to his daddy's spot. The shots were getting real. And just a few weeks later, during an April 2nd, 2015 show in Jacksonville, Wayne stood on stage, looked out at the crowd, and shouted with all his frustration, "Fall Cash Money!" The crowd went wild, and at that moment, everyone knew the father-son dynasty was officially dead.
Do you guys still talk, or is it kind of a little resistance right now? Because
I ain't spoke with him in about a month. Maybe about a month.
Tension kept rising in ways nobody saw coming. It felt like every week brought a new twist in the saga.
What's
We
that?
see each other every day.
Who?
Me and Wayne, we work right next to door to each other at the studio.
Are you serious? So if you're in like Studio A and he's in Studio B, y'all be there at the same time?
Yeah,
And y'all don't talk to each other?
every night.
Birdman insisted the bond wasn't broken, but the streets could tell things were shaky.
I didn't never want the music business to interfere with my relationship with my son anyway. I love him to death. I raised him. So that's something I would personally have to do because I don't ever want that, because right now it's affecting our personal relationship.
Right.
On May 26, 2015, Wayne fired off another shot by dissing Cash Money on ASAP Rocky's $, rapping "There ain't no more CM," making it clear he was out for real. By June to July 2015, he inked a deal with Tidal for his free Weezy album, loading it with more jabs, including the line, "Rest in peace to the Cash Money Weezy," which had fans buzzing about the split. Then the legal smoke thickened. Birdman sued Jay-Z and Tidal for $50 million over streaming rights, trying to block the rollout and protect the bag, at least according to the filing. On July 12, 2015, reports claim Birdman allegedly tossed a drink at Wayne during a Miami performance, a bold move that felt wildly disrespectful to onlookers. But the real breaking point was when all that tension started looking truly dangerous, with everyone worried it could spill past music. In a surprise twist, January 2016 brought a brief reunion when Wayne and Birdman appeared together at Drake's NYE party and even performed, sparking talk that maybe the beef was getting patched up. Birdman called Wayne his son on stage like old times, but the peace didn't last long. By March 28, 2016, Wayne filed a $40 million lawsuit against Universal Music Group, alleging Young Money profits from Drake, Nicki, and others were diverted to cover Birdman's debts, a claim that reignited the fire and showed the smoke definitely wasn't clear. On Chance the Rapper's track, "No Problem," Wayne made it loud and clear. He was coming for every label trying to block his shine. He wasn't hiding his anger anymore. At a Denver rally, he shouted, "Cash Money," with straight defiance, not caring who heard it or what kind of message it sent. By September 2016, though, the weight of the entire battle was crushing him. Wayne started hinting at retirement, saying he felt defeated by the endless fights and lawsuits. He accused Birdman of pocketing $70 million out of a $100 million advance that was supposed to go to him and his team. A judge soon ordered Birdman to turn over his financial records, forcing him to show exactly where that money went. And the public collapse of their relationship became undeniable. Fans who once saw them as family were now watching their bond disintegrate live, interview by interview, concert by concert. The pain was written all over Wayne's face every time he spoke. This was deeper than business. It was heartbreak on display. The man who once shouted, "Daddy," with pride, was now calling Birdman out for betrayal in front of the whole world. The empire they'd built together, brick by brick, from the dirty streets of New Orleans to the top of the rap game, was falling apart right before everyone's eyes.
At some point, we're going to get together. It ain't like we enemies. We definitely not enemies.
Right, I hear you.
In no kind of way. But like I said, at the end of the day, before it's all said and done for me, he's what I came in the game with, and he what I want to leave in the game.
And while Birdman tried to play it cool in public, talking about hope for reconciliation, the reality was darker than anyone knew. Things were about to take a dangerous turn, showing this beef was never just about contracts or royalties. It had turned into a fight for freedom, survival, and legacy. Back in January 2015, Lil Wayne went full throttle and filed a massive $51 million lawsuit against Cash Money Records, Birdman, and Ronald "Slim" Williams. He wasn't just after the money. He wanted total freedom from the label and the right to walk away with Young Money in his hands. The suit accused Cash Money of breach of contract, saying they refused to release Thought Carter 5 even after Wayne had completely finished the album. On top of that, Wayne claimed they never paid him the full $8 million advance for recording the project or the extra $2 million owed after completion, only giving him part of what he earned, which was flat out disrespectful. Wayne demanded the 49% ownership and profit share in Young Money that had been promised to him from the jump. He said there were no royalty statements, no proper accounting for Drake's massive earnings, and no quarterly $200,000 overhead payments or the $1 million escrow fund that was supposed to support Young Money operations. Wayne also accused Birdman of running unauthorized marketing campaigns, cutting him out of creative decisions on his own projects and prioritizing other artists, especially Young Thug, while using Wayne's success to cover label debts. It was a power move, and Wayne saw it as pure betrayal. He said he felt trapped, both creatively and financially, locked inside a system he helped build but no longer controlled. Wayne carried Cash Money on his back for over a decade, generating billions in hits, tours, and influence. Yet he claimed he'd been shorted and silenced the whole time. Then, on March 28, 2016, Wayne took things even higher, filing another $40 million lawsuit against Universal Music Group. This time, he accused UMG of diverting Young Money profits from Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Tyga to pay off Cash Money's $100 million debt, money that had nothing to do with him. Wayne said that move robbed him of the profits tied to his 49% Young Money ownership, violating their deal completely. UMG, on the other hand, claimed they owned 100% of the label's performance royalties, setting off another wave in a legal war that was only getting uglier. With Sound Exchange blocking his payments, Wayne's money flow was getting hit hard. His entire bag was frozen up for years. The endless lawsuits and label drama kept his career in limbo, and no lie, it felt like time was standing still. The Carter fee was supposed to drop back in 2014, but it didn't see daylight until September 2018, released independently through UMG after the long-awaited settlement finally went through. By then, Wayne was mentally and creatively drained. The pressure had him snapping on stage, yelling, "Cash Money," mid-performance, and dropping diss records left and right. From Sorry For The Wait To the Free Weezy album, that Free Weezy album was Wayne going for blood, calling out everyone blocking his success and proving he didn't need a label to move. But the toll was heavy. By 2016, he was publicly threatening retirement, saying he felt completely defeated by the never-ending legal mess. His whole situation shined a spotlight on just how ruthless the music industry could be, full of exploitative contracts that trap artists in deals stacked against them. Birdman's image took a serious hit too, reinforcing his rep for shady money moves, especially after Juvenile's $10 million lawsuit and Manny Fresh's exit over unpaid fees. A court even ordered a full breakdown of how that $10 million advance was spent, forcing the world to see what was really going on inside Cash Money's books. The lawsuits didn't just hurt Wayne, they rippled across the whole Young Money camp, dragging Drake, Nicki, and Tyga into royalty disputes that messed with everyone's paper. Meanwhile, Birdman fought back with his own legal shots, suing Tidal and Jay-Z for $50 million in 2015 over the streaming rights to the Free Weezy album, trying to block Wayne's independent grind. Settlement talks between Wayne and Cash Money kept collapsing, especially after Wayne threw that Rockefeller shout-out, which Birdman took personal. By then, Wayne was done with the drama. Insiders said he just wanted his $51 million, his freedom, and a clean break to move on with his life once and for all. The back and forth between Lil Wayne and Birdman turned into a wild emotional roller coaster. One minute they were reconciling at events like Drake's 2016 New Year's Eve party. The next minute they were back at odds in a toxic cycle that seemed like it would never end. But finally, after years of lawsuits, tension, and broken promises, everything came to a close. On June 7, 2018, both sides reached an amicable settlement, officially ending one of hip-hop's longest and most public legal wars. A court notice of dismissal had already been filed on May 23, 2018, but the news broke publicly a couple of weeks later. The agreement included Wayne, Cash Money, Birdman, and Universal Music Group, all finally finding a way to move forward. According to reports from The Blast, Wayne secured an 8-figure payout, rumored to be well over $10 million, to officially free himself from Cash Money's grip. Some insiders claimed Universal fronted the money instead of Birdman, planning to recoup their investment through future profits from Drake and Nicki Minaj's success. But to this day, the exact number remains sealed tight. Wayne's attorney, Ron Sweeney, described the case as amicably resolved, but said they were legally prohibited from sharing the finer details. What mattered most was that Wayne was finally free. No more label chains, no more blocked releases. He was fully released from Cash Money, owning his masters, assets, and his entire music catalog going forward. From that moment on, Universal Music Group would handle his future projects directly, cutting out any middlemen once and for all. Wayne's lawyer confirmed it best. He's his own man, a man who owns his assets, his music, and himself. That line hit different. The settlement opened the door for Wayne's long-awaited comeback. And on September 28, 2018, he dropped the Carter 5, which debuted at #1, selling 480,000 units in its first week. It was more than an album release. It was Wayne's victory lap, closing the Cash Money chapter and stepping into true independence like the legend he'd become. When the dust finally settled, Lil Wayne came out on top, owning his music catalog and his creative freedom, something most rappers never even get close to. Meanwhile, Cash Money's influence started fading heavy. The years of lawsuits and public tension had exposed the darker side of the music industry, the contracts, the control, the exploitation. But through all the chaos, Wayne showed the world he could stand tall on his own and still eat just fine. The settlement didn't just end a feud, it closed one of hip-hop's messiest, most emotional separations ever. Yeah, money got moved around and lawyers made their cut, but one question stayed hanging in the air. Could a father and son really forgive each other after everything that went down? Then came a moment nobody expected. On August 26, 2018, during Lil Louisiana Fest in New Orleans, Birdman walked out on stage beside Wayne and shocked the crowd with a public apology. In front of thousands of fans, he said, "I wanted to apologize to my worldwide. We're gonna do this till the day we die." The timing was powerful, just months after their legal settlement, showing maybe, just maybe, the wounds were starting to heal.
On to Lil Wayne.
Yes.
What happened was...
It's a lot of moving parts with me and Wayne. And it's important to me that I fix that. I will fix that. And one day, you know, I brought him in the game before his biological still living. I was a father for him.
And then Wayne sealed his comeback in true legend fashion, dropping The Carter 5 independently on September 28, 2018. The album instantly debuted at #1, selling 480,000 units in its first week, proving he didn't need Cash Money to dominate the game anymore. Wayne was free, focused, and firmly in control of his own legacy. After years of painful delays and endless drama, fans finally got what they'd been waiting for, The Carter 5. By the time it dropped, the anticipation was electric. But even before that, in March 2018, there were early hints that things between Lil Wayne and Birdman might be softening up. The two were spotted together at Club Live in Miami, and later at Birdman's album release party, sparking rumors that the ice was starting to melt. Still, it was the Louisiana Fest apology that made it official. The father and son duo were finally taking steps toward real healing.
On some ego, to be honest with you. And I just think, you know, for the business, I ain't gonna let it rest like that. I ain't gonna let the game go when we be on different sides of the coin. I ain't gonna lie.
Fast forward to January 2024, and history repeated itself in a way no one saw coming. Wayne and Birdman were back in the studio together, ending nearly 9 years of bad blood. The reunion wasn't just for show either. Insiders said it looked and felt genuine, like they were truly putting the past behind them. By May 2025, Birdman sat down with Nick Cannon for an emotional podcast interview where he opened up about discovering Wayne, their painful fallout, and even claimed Cash Money had made over $2 billion from the success of Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj.
In a minute, it all gonna self-explain itself, and I ain't come here to explain that. I just came here to be a part of your show, and it's nothing I can't really explain, but in due time, what I can tell you is, at some point in life, you're gonna see me and Wayne working together again.
But not everything was picture perfect. During the July 2024 Essence Fest, a long-awaited Hot Boys reunion fell short when Wayne performed solo, reportedly because Birdman barred Turk from joining the show, proof that even with peace on the surface, old tensions still lingered beneath. Birdman later cleared the air, insisting there was no beef at all, explaining that Wayne only agreed to perform at the show because Birdman personally asked him to. Then, in November 2024, fans finally got the moment they'd been waiting decades for. The full Hot Boys reunion at Lil Louisiana Fest. The stage lit up with Wayne, Juvenile, Turk, BG, Birdman, and Manny Fresh, all performing their classics together like it was the late 90s again. They even surprised the crowd by announcing a mini tour, marking one of hip-hop's biggest comebacks. But even with the nostalgia and excitement, 2025 brought some mixed signals. During one stop on the Hot Boys tour in Florida, a clip went viral showing Wayne cutting Birdman off mid-speech saying, "All right, let's go." The crowd laughed, but the tension underneath was hard to ignore. A few days later, in North Carolina, Birdman appeared to doze off on stage, which instantly set social media on fire with speculation. Some fans thought he was exhausted. Others worried it was a medical issue. Still, as of January 2026, things between Wayne and Birdman seem mostly peaceful. No new feuds, no lawsuits, and no public explosions. Just two icons occasionally crossing paths and celebrating their shared legacy. They've kept things cordial and professional, showing that time really can cool even the hottest beefs. Of course, public opinion is still split. Fans on Reddit and X, formerly Twitter, can't agree on whether the reconciliation is real love or just business optics. Some cheer for the father-son healing, while others stay skeptical, pointing back to the old drama, especially those tour bus shooting theories, with a few still believing Birdman might have had a hand in it. The truth? Only the two of them really know. Plenty of rappers jumped into the mix, giving their take on the legendary fallout between Lil Wayne and Birdman. In 2017, Rick Ross dropped his fiery track Idols Become Rivals, where he went straight at Birdman's neck, calling him out for allegedly mistreating Wayne and other artists under Cash Money. Ross didn't hold back, spitting, "Catholic record labels getting boy, Birdman a priest, and I pray you find the kindness in your heart for Wayne. His entire life he gave you what there was to gain." The bar hit deep, and Wayne later reposted the song, publicly thanking Ross for standing up for him when most people stayed quiet. Former Cash Money artists like Juvenile, Turk, Manny Fresh, and BG also voiced their support for Wayne, confirming that the label had a long history of money disputes and broken promises. They backed up Wayne's claims about unfair business, but also kept things balanced, saying those old viral photos and moments, like the infamous kiss between Birdman and Wayne, were just street family affection. Nothing inappropriate, just how they showed love in that world. Even with all that public support and the later reconciliation, not everyone's convinced the piece is fully real. Fans still notice awkward moments like when Wayne cuts Birdman off mid-speech during shows or interviews. The two clearly maintain a working relationship, but that old warmth isn't quite back yet. The truth is, trust takes time to rebuild, especially when it's been broken by millions of dollars, lawsuits, and rumors of violence. The healing might be in progress, but it's clear there are still scars beneath the surface. The aftermath of this wild saga paints a deep and complicated picture. Lil Wayne walked away with something most artists never achieve: true independence and creative freedom. He now owns his entire catalog, controls his career and destiny, and proved that no label could ever silence him again. Meanwhile, Birdman managed to keep his Cash Money empire alive, even though its influence took a major hit as Young Money's stars like Drake and Nicki Minaj grew far bigger than the parent label itself. Their feud cracked open the dark realities of the music industry: shady 360 deals, recoupment traps, and exploitative contracts that keep artists tied down while others eat off their success. Wayne's battle didn't just free him, it started a movement. His victory gave power to a new generation of artists demanding fair pay, ownership, and transparency. But make no mistake, the cost was heavy. The delays, the lawsuits, the heartbreak, and a broken father-son bond came dangerously close to destroying them both. In the end, they chose forgiveness over destruction, letting peace replace the pain, at least for now. Whether that forgiveness was genuine love or just smart business, only they know the truth. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. Tell us your thoughts. Was the Wayne and Birdman reunion real love or just industry politics? And make sure to check out the suggested videos by clicking the cards on your screen.